Welcome to Fantasy HQ, welcome. We are the NRL Fantasy Gurus. Today, it's so exciting. Last night, TLT, and if you don't know what that is, if you were born under a rock, it's not Turkey Lamb Toasties, it's Teamlist Tuesday.
Those are delicious.
They are delicious.
Turkey Lamb Toasties are the greatest things in the world.
So excited, we got the teams finally announced, we got to put our team together properly, we think. So we're going to share our teams with you today. Barring any late mail, things could slightly change to our teams, but I think we built a solid foundation. Well, I know I have anyway.
Oh,
Fingers crossed.
We'll do our introductions as always. To your right, I have Mitch from Mitch's Lads FG. To your left, I have Red from Myrmidon's FG. And of course, me, Alex, Goose FG, the three most charismatic fantasy hosts ever in any sport. Let's get into it. I think we'll kick it off with my team.
Okay, fine.
Alright.
Should have some fancy flash up of the teams, probably over Red's face.
Always my face, every time.
So, as my captain, of course, I managed to afford it. I'm bringing in Damien Cook. He'll be my starting hooker. Bringing in Andrew Fafita. I've been talking him up all pre-season. I just think he's going to have...
I actually think you're in love with him, but...
I am in love with Fafita, and the way he's been playing, he warrants a pick from every single person. Got some great, bit cheaper options in second row. Jairo, Cameron Murray. I've gone expensive on my halves. I've gone Cherry Evans, the top of the top. Got a few cash cows scattered in through there, which I think most of us have a few of those cash cows, so we'll jump into that a bit later. I think Nakora is a great option in that centre position at basement price.
Should make a lot of money there.
DPP, and what is that like? We got a fair amount of time until
Wade
Graham's back.
Round 9, between 9 and 12 he's expected back.
Yeah.
You've got a fair bit of time to make some money.
Yeah, so definitely bring him in. Tedesco, I think he's must have. Managed to fit him in there as well. I've got a two hooker bench, Marnie and McCulloch. I think they're going to have great seasons. Hopefully Marnie plays the 80 minutes. Will Smith is on the bench, so hopefully he doesn't dig in too much, but we'll see what happens there. And yeah, a couple more cash cows scattered throughout there. So there's my team. I'm very happy with it right now. I've left Alan in there as a note because I think there'll be some problems with Inglis round 1, so he might slip in. And I think he'll always be around the team, and he could come in as maybe even a ghost cow option. So I like him at basement price to hang around. Jacob Host is a bit of a risk, just with Sims coming back in a few weeks, and there's a stack forward back there too. So who knows, but that is my team. Sit over to, let's go next.
Oh, I guess I'll do it. If my team I've gone, as usual, you try and go as heavy in the forwards as you can. They generally lay the platform for your team and a good score. I've gone Andrew McCulloch as my hooker. I expect him to get 80 minutes, so I expect him to be my captain. I haven't quite decided between him and Fafita yet. I'm loving Frizzell at lock, and with the impending court case for D. Bellin, he's probably going to be out for quite a few weeks. So
for sure. I'd be surprised to see him at all this year.
Yeah, me too.
Very serious, but let's not get bogged down in that. Obviously Murray's an absolute must-have. Lock for Souths. He should get big minutes. He loves tackling, that guy. So,
yeah.
Jai Arrow, one of my favourites. Taking a bit of a risk with John Bateman. I did a bit of research. Looks like he's could be a real keeper long term, and he's pretty cheap at the moment. So
people don't know he played in England last year, so he's come over. But he's a tackle machine. He's a run meter machine. Yeah. He just does everything. And he
roughly averages a try. Obviously, it's in England, so it's a second-rate league, but averages a try roughly every 4 games. So
it's pretty good for the under-9s.
Yeah. Another one, and this is probably the most unsure person I am in my team with, is Pangai Jr. at the moment. Obviously, we're not sure exactly the makeup and how that's going to work in Brisbane. Not sure if he's been held back because of his hamstring injury a little bit.
I think so.
I think he'll find his way into the team.
He definitely could start, and I think maybe might be a week or 2 before he gets it.
Even off the bench, he should. It's maybe a bit risky at the start, but he should get some decent minutes off the bench.
I've gone one mid-tier half, and I expect him to have a big season, Michael Morgan. I think he's going to make a fair bit of money as well. My backs predominantly all the cash cows. There's a lot of good ones out there, so it's all about trying to find the right one. Not Christian Crichton though. Never Christian Crichton. And obviously, throwing a bit of experience back there too with Tedesco. I guess on the bench, my notable kind of players, Dylan Napa, I think he's a must-have, absolute. He's going to be a money-making machine this year.
If you can get 50 to 60 minutes, yeah. We talked about him in the Cash Cow video. Red wasn't a fan, but we were. I didn't bring him in personally because I was surprised by the amount of Cash Cows. So,
yeah,
so
very surprising. And yeah, that's my team, boys. I'm pretty confident I should have a pretty good round one and build up a bit of money there. What about you, Red? How are you looking?
Well, firstly, I'm loving your confidence. Quite mistaken, my friend. Quite mistaken.
No one comes second better than me.
Your team. Look, my team's very strategic in my eyes. I've got very heavy in the forwards. So I've got Cam for feeder, and then backed up in the second row by Frizzell, Cameron Murray, and Matt Gillett. I think that's a very solid foundation to have. All guys starting, most likely big minutes, if not big points. Then I've gone in the backs, pretty much an anchor to support every cash cow or mid-tier player I've got there. So in the halves, Charlie Cherens, Michael Morgan. I think Michael Morgan's going to have a big season also. I think he's, when JT was out of the team 2 years ago, he was leader in try assists and he took that team to the grand final. Yeah, it was a bit of a dud grand final, but at least he took them there. And I got Capewell and the Cora in the centres. I think having second rowers in centre is an unpassable opportunity. I think both are an absolute must, especially at least until Wade Graham's.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a long time, so there's a lot of money to be made there. Then in the backs, I got Kahu and Tedesco. I think you need to have fullbacks if you can. And then Ravalawa, just because bargain basement pricing, the Dragons are going to be putting a lot of ball out to the wings.
Very surprising the omission of Lomax for him. Like it was
Yeah.
40% of teams.
Yeah.
It was a hot favourite to be.
I said he had that right wing locked down.
Yeah, but Ravalawa.
Don't believe anything I say.
Yeah, he dropped like a sack, but that's fine. And you know,
I expected to see him later in the season.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. To be honest, I think he's gonna. Look, he did great things at the end of last year, so you can only hope that he's back there. I think he deserves it. I haven't gone a serious hooker on the bench. I've gone Brandon Smith purely on the fact that I think the way Melbourne's moving, he's going to get some serious minutes. The other boys disagree with me, but I think it's an absolute must-to-have. I've gone Dylan Brown from Parramatta, Host from the Dragons, and Kieran from the Warriors. The other one that I have that Holmes disagreed with me in the early set was Payne Haas. I think it's a waste to put a guy on the bench and he's not making any points and sacrifice a trade for that. I think that if you have a guy who you know is going to be there a bit later on, I think it's worth the trade to have him there from the start anyway. I think trades are a serious commodity in this particular fantasy game, and I think you got to use them when you can. So, how about me, boys?
Well, they're definitely very important trades. You want to hang on to them as long as you can. I'm very guilty for wasting them all way too soon. I get trigger happy. But I just think with Haas, there's no real guarantee that he's going to be there in 4 weeks.
Well, you know he's going to be in the squad.
He's not going to be
But
starting.
I think it probably depends how the Broncos go. Because if they're happy with what they got in the rotation they have working,
If they're winning,
and they're
yeah, tough schedule.
hypothetically they're 4-0, I think they actually do have the hardest schedule to start the season with.
Yeah.
You might find it very hard to force his way into that team and get some minutes. But if they're struggling, he might come straight in and get bulk minutes, and you look like an absolute genius.
I just think from cash cows, it's hard to make more than 20k a week. And when you're sitting at about 280, I think, again, the trade versus what you're going to make off the other guys, I don't think it's really worth it at that point.
I mean, it could go either way. For me, just as Haas and Brandon Smith, bench players at best. I wouldn't do it personally, but, you know.
That's the fun of fantasy.
That's the fun of fantasy.
So some interesting points that we've found from Teamlist Tuesday announcement. We're going to take it in turns, but I'm going to go first. Actually, I thought it was really interesting having Corey Allen. Holmes still has him in his bench for the Rabbitohs. I think it's very interesting to see if he's going to stay there. If he stays there, I think investing in a Rabbitohs forward could be a really good opportunity, particularly Tommy Burgess. Yeah, did really well last year, and if he's only going to get more minutes, it's only going to be better. Other thing that I found was really interesting was Mitch Rain from the Titans was listed in jersey 18, meaning he's not part of the starting 17. They do have
Super sub Bryce Cartwright.
super sub Bryce Cartwright on the bench, but you know,
No longer a good cash cow.
yeah, no, horrible choice.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, I know, right? So potentially peak
Hates
30
it.
minutes. Potentially, you know, there's always a curveball. Nothing's ever certain. That's the fun of it all. But good potential for maybe Nathan Peace to be a top grade hooker finally.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that one. Same thing with hookers. You got Hodgson. They got Havili on the bench, so I think he's a bit of a buyer beware.
Yeah.
He looked like a good price if he played 80 minutes, but yeah, Havili, very solid hooker bench option. So
does provide good service out of there.
yeah. Also, you got Roach for Warriors. Don't pick him up. He's nice and cheap for a starting hooker, 280, but Isaac Luke's only out for a week, so I would steer clear. And then they got Tavega on the bench, so he'll probably hold that spot, and Roach will be out of the team. So, byware on that. Mitch?
I just got Lachlan Burr. Obviously, we don't know what kind of penalty he's going to be given to Papali'i. It could be a week, it could be 5 weeks. So that's definitely a buyer beware. If he does end up staying there, he's a very cheap lock, which obviously that's one of my favourite positions to have someone in the centre of the field.
Keep an eye on that one.
Points.
So that's definitely one to keep your eyes on. And I'm just going to mention 2 players quickly, Robbie Farah and Jake Granville. How they've listed the teams at the moment, they're not carrying any spare utilities on the bench or hookers. So potentially could be 80 minutes. But I wouldn't at all be surprised if we find Josh Reynolds on the bench come kick off. He's on way too much money to be playing in the New South Wales Cup.
Yeah.
So beware on Farah for that one.
And Granville as well. I think they could slide Ben Hampton up there, get a bit of utility value, cover him, cover the backs.
So, yeah.
A lot of interesting things for Team List Tuesday, guys. Make sure you scroll through the teams, make sure you're looking at your team, look at the benches, look at the extended benches. There's a lot of little things that can change. And as always, just an hour before the game starts is when the teams are final. So keep an eye on that sort of stuff. You can always change your team if they haven't played yet. You can sub them out, bring someone else in. So just be really conscious of that.
As well as that, keep your eye on the late mail as well. I always look every day at the late mail. You see
NRL app.
Yeah, so who's missed training, or who might be covering an injury or on reduced minutes, or
Who's had a sex tape?
Not one of us, that's for sure. But yeah, just definitely late mail, stay above it all, and there hopefully won't be too many nasty surprises come game day.
We'll wrap it up there. Our teams, copy them if you want.
Tear them apart. Tear them apart. Bring it on.
I'm sure there's like parts of our teams that you agree with, parts that you don't agree with. Maybe you can take a mix. Who knows? Shout outs for our subscribers. Like it's over 100 now. We think we got more subscribers now than people show up to Roosters games. So that's great. Comments have been great. People have been sending us lots of DMs on Instagram. We've been responding. So keep saying those, and we're happy to answer any questions we can. Take it with a grain of salt, of course. Don't blame us if it goes sour.
No, blame him. Don't blame us. Me and Mitch are fine. Just blame Alex.
Yeah. Also, check out the Instagram. Follow that. What else can they do?
Like, subscribe, comment.
He always nails it.
He nails it every time.
Every time.
It's his sissy thing.
So yeah, thanks for watching. There are our team reveals, and good luck for the season.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck. You'll need it.